fear of how I'll be perceived.
Your Honor, may I approach us?
Yes.
Approaching now with...
Right away, you can feel the tension. This isn't casual testimony. This is a witness stepping into a courtroom where every word can be dissected. And once those exhibits come out, the story starts getting tested against receipts.
May direct attention to what is marked as Exhibit 3. Do you mind looking through this? It's a number of pages. And when you're kind of have looked at it a little bit, you can look back on it.
I'm reading all of them or just that first page?
Have you read a few of those?
Text messages in court can be devastating evidence because they freeze emotions in real time. No memory issues, no hindsight, just what was said in the moment. Jury members usually pay close attention here.
Well, let me say, from what you've seen, do you recognize what these seem to be?
Yes.
And what are these?
Text messages about the...
Do you know who the text messages are between?
Yes, between me and Mr. Diggs.
And do you know when these text messages are from?
12-2. Yeah, 12-2.
So were those text messages that were going on between you and me that morning of that day?
Yes.
And if I can ask you to maybe go to the third last page on this.
In this whole thing?
Of this section. Your Honor, may I approach and...
Yes.
That's a critical sequence. Lawyers love building timelines. Text exchange, confrontation, alleged assault. If the jury believes the timing lines up, it strengthens credibility. If not, the whole case gets shakier. What do you think? Does this sound organized or messy?
Yes.
So on the top page, there's a text that says pussy, right?
Yes.
And who sent that?
I did.
And how did Mr. Diggs respond?
Show me I'm pussy.
And how did you respond?
Will do.
And were those the last text messages sent before Mr. Diggs hit you?
Yes. I'm not mistaken.
Your Honor, may I approach once more?
Yes.
Bringing your attention now to what's marked Exhibit 4. Could you look through a few of these? And do you recognize what these are?
Yes.
And what are these?
These are messages that I sent him asking to be paid.
And do you know when around these were from?
It was a couple of days after. They were in Art Basel. 12-5 it says. Yeah, I know I was begging for my money for a while.
Just, I think, final question. When he was in the room, when he slapped you, when he put you in a headlock, was there anyone else in the room but you two?
Just us two.
And were there other people in the house?
Yes.
Do you know where they were in the house?
Downstairs. If I'm not mistaken.
And you said you went to New York and you met with a Shai. Is it Shai?
And here comes a classic cross-examination move, prior statements. This is where defense attorneys try to show contradictions, not whether something happened, but whether the story stayed consistent. Huge difference.
Yeah.
How did you know Shai Charles?
She works for him.
Okay, so
She braids his hair.
and so has she known you longer or him longer?
Him longer.
No further questions, John?
Ms. Adams, today is not the first day you've told the story of what you say happened on December 2nd, true?
True.
The first time you told the story was on December 16th, right?
Yes.
And that was to Officer Ellis of the Dedham Police Department, right?
Yes.
And you sat with Officer Ellis, right?
Yes.
That, yes, lands hard. Any admission that two versions differ give the opposing side momentum. But remember, inconsistent details don't automatically mean false claims. Trauma, fear, embarrassment, and time can all affect reporting. The jury now has to decide which explanation fits best.
And you told him your story,
Yes.
and he took notes of what you were saying.
Yes.
Because what you were saying was important to issuing a criminal complaint, right?
Objection.
I don't know what a criminal complaint is. I was
Well-
making a report. I don't know.
You were making a report to the police
Yes.
about what you said was a violent assault, correct?
Yes.
And your purpose in making a report to the police about a violent assault was to start a criminal case.
No. I made a criminal report to have a report to document it.
So documentation was important to you, right?
Yes.
The story that you just told to this jury under oath was very different from what you told to Officer Ellis. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
What you said to Officer Ellis when you reported this crime, this so-called crime, is that you had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to you.
Yes.
You told the police officer who filed the criminal complaint in this case, based on your word, that your fight with Mr. Diggs on December 2nd was over money. True?
Yes.
Except you just testified under oath to this jury that you didn't start talking about money until December 5th, right?
What did you say?
You just testified under oath to this jury.
I have been begging for my money since December the 5th. Mr. Diggs, and throughout those messages, you can see that I was begging for my money since that day.
Which message? Are you talking about Exhibit 3 that you just looked at?
It's other messages that you guys should have of me begging for my money from Mr. Diggs.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
do you recall testifying under oath to this jury that your fight on December 2nd was about Lindsay, your anger at Lindsay, and you being told you couldn't go on the Miami trip?
My anger was at Stefon. I never said my anger was at Lindsay.
You were angry at Stefon on December 2nd
Yes.
because you were told you couldn't go on
I
the
was
Miami
angry at
trip.
Stefon because we were friends. He told me at the last minute I could not go to Art Basel.
And yet when you walked into the police station on December 16th, you said you had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to you.
Yes, money owed to me after I asked Mr. Diggs on December the 2nd, when can I get paid?
Your Honor, may I approach?
Your Honor, have you seen a sidebar? Yeah.
Do you recognize that document that I've shown you as the police report that was prepared based on your statements on December 16th?
Yes.
This may be one of the most human moments in the testimony. She's explaining omissions through shame and privacy concerns that can resonate emotionally, but legally, the jury still has to weigh whether omitted facts were understandable or damaging to reliability. This is where cases often turn.
You've seen this report before?
Yes, I made it.
And you see on the report where it says, she said that on this date, the male that she worked for entered her unlocked bedroom. They had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to Adams. She said that they began to discuss this, which apparently angered the male.
I did
There's no
not.
question pending yet. Do you see that language?
Yeah.
Did you say that to Police Officer Ellis on December 16th?
Yes, I see it.
And that wasn't true, was it?
To my recollection, it was true. We did discuss money and payment.
Ms. Adams, you just testified under oath about what happened on December 2nd. according
Okay,
to
I
you.
also didn't put in the police report our sexual relationship because I was ashamed. The police report got leaked. I didn't put a lot of things. The most important thing was the attack in the police report. Me reporting anything outside of why he got upset, I didn't feel the need to put it. I was scared of how it was received by the public. He's in a very public relationship with Cardi B. So I did not put a lot of things in the police report. My most important thing was him assaulting me and choking me and stuff. So that was the most important thing that I put in the police report. I was very vague. I didn't feel the need that I had to go and explain the relationship.
When you were asked questions, you actually gave
I
false-
didn't feel-
Ma'am, you must wait until I finish the question.
Wait until counsel has finished the question. Answer it. If you don't understand it, ask it.
Because you didn't feel it was important. When you were asked questions about what happened on December 2nd, you lied.
It did not change what happened on December 2nd.
I'm
It
gonna
did
try
not
my
change
que-
what happened on December the 2nd. He choked and slapped me.
Ms. Adams, I'm going to try my question again. Because you didn't think it was important. When you asked the questions of Dedham Police Officer Ellis on December 16th, you lied.
I did not lie. I just did not expand on detail on the relationship I had with Mr. Diggs. I didn't feel that that was important. The sexual relationship, I didn't feel like that was important. I didn't feel it was important that he was upset because I told him I was not in love with him like those other women. I was ashamed of being with him.
Right.
I didn't feel the need to explain it to the police officer.
Ms. Adams, please answer the question. The counsel can then ask you the next question. All right.
Under oath, on December 2nd, when you claim Mr. Diggs walked into your room, you had not been having a text exchange fight over money.
The
True?
last text exchange fight was over money. The last text exchange was me saying, you need to pay me out for the rest of the season. I'm out of your life. Give me the money for my business in that order. That was the last text exchange. His response to me,
Well, ma'am, before we get to his response, why don't we get
you
to
will
what
be
you
paying
were
me out for
responding
the
to?
season and the money you said you would give me for my business. Wasted my, excuse my language, fucking time being here because you have a, excuse my language again, fucking circus going on. I am out of your life. I am ruining that bitch life.
All right, Ms. Adams, you're going to listen to counsel's question. You're going to answer that question, and then you're going to wait for the next question. This is not an opportunity for you just to say whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
All right? It is to be responsive to the question presented.
Okay.
Next question, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. That response that you just read, that was actually a response to something Steph wrote to you, right?
That was a text exchange
It's
over
a yes
money.
or no question, ma'am.
What was your question?
What you just read into the record, that was a response to a text message that Steph sent to you, correct?
Yes.
And in that request, in that message that Steph sent to you, you understood you were getting fired, right?
No.
What Steph wrote to you is, "I'ma leave you be. Thank you for cooking for me for this season. I appreciate you. Hate it even got to this, but oh well." Right?
Yes.
And you understood when you received that he was telling you you were not going to be cooking for him anymore.
No.
You didn't understand that.
No.
And that's why you responded with, "You will be paying me out this season and the money you owe me."
No.
Because you knew you were about to lose your job, right?
I was not about to lose my job.
You didn't understand, "I'ma leave you be. Thank you for cooking for me this season. I appreciate you. Hate it even got like this," as a sign that you were about to lose your job?
No.
In any event, you didn't tell Officer Ellis on December 16th when you reported this assault any of that, right?
The last text message was about money. The last back and forth text messages was about money. Money he owed me for not finishing out the contract, and money he owed me that he said that he would invest in my business.
So
I took a lower pay because Stefon agreed
Your Honor, may I have the
that
witness instruction?
I will have chance to work on my
Ms.
business by
Adams?
working with
Ms.
him.
Adams, there's no question in front of you right now. And again, please answer the questions put to you. It's not an opportunity for you just to vent with your story.
You told other falsehoods to Officer Ellis, didn't you?
No. Not to my knowledge.
You told Officer Ellis that you had injuries from this alleged assault, right?
I told him I had bruising, meaning redness, and soreness on my throat.
You told him you had bruising on your neck, right?
It was like red. It was in like purple bruises. On the incident report, pull that up.
You didn't have any injuries when you walked into the police office on December 16th, did you?
No, because that happened on December 2nd.
Right. So any injuries that you would have had, you had a reason for why they weren't there, right?
It happened, it faded. The fading went away the night.
Right. And did you take any pictures of your injuries?
I was in shock. The first thing was not to take pictures. It was to get it together.
I thought you just testified under oath that you had just received a text message from a woman named Anna. That's Anna Kokolas, right?
You're in the wrong timeline.
You didn't just testify under
You're on
oath.
the wrong
ma'am?
timeline.
You didn't just testify under oath that you were sitting on your bed, reading a cookbook, got a text message from Anna, and Mr. Diggs walked into your room?
Mr. Diggs walked in minutes after I texted him. That's how I based the time on what time he walked in the room.
Okay. So you had a phone in your hand when he walked in the room?
My phone was on the bed. I was reading a book. I wasn't texting her in the moment of Mr. Diggs walking in the room.
No. Okay. But you had a phone right there in your room?
Yes.
It's an iPhone?
Yes.
and it's got a camera on it,
Yes.
and you can take videos with it,
Yes.
and you do take videos with it.
Yes.
You take pictures with it.
Yes.
You take pictures of yourself with it.
Yes.
A lot?
Not often.
Not often. You have social media account for your business, don't you?
Yes.
Do you post things on your social media account?
I'm not as active as I should be.
You don't use your iPhone to take videos or pictures for that?
I'm not a very active person on social media.
I see. But you certainly had a phone in your room when you claim you were violently assaulted and injured, right?
That has nothing to do or justify the reason I was attacked.
It's a yes or no question, ma'am.
Yes, I had a phone.
Okay. You took no pictures of your face or your neck or
That
your
has
chest?
nothing to do.
I need to finish my question.
Okay.
You took no pictures of your face on December 2nd, did you?
No.
No pictures of your neck on December 2nd, right?
No.
No pictures of your chest on December 2nd?
No.
You said Mr. Diggs hit you across the face. Did you have any marks on your face?
No.
You understand Mr. Diggs is a professional football player, right?
Yes.
He's an elite athlete.
I don't know. He's an athlete.
You don't know that he's an elite athlete?
I guess.
Okay.
You call him that.
And you testified he slapped you across your face,
Yes.
and you had no marks from it.
I was red. I'm lighter complexion.
Bruises, they get worse over time. Do you agree with me?
It was redness. It wasn't bruises.
Oh, hang on. There's an objection. So let me roll on the objection. That is overruled. You may answer the question.
Thank you, Anna.
I have redness, mark, like I'm light skinned. I turn red when
You also get bruises, don't you?
if I hit something hard, yeah.
Right. And bruises get worse over time, right?
Okay. I'm not
Do they?
sure. I'm not sure. I don't get bruises a lot. I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Officer Ellis you were bruised on December 2nd?
My idea of bruising is soreness, hurting. I was red. It was redness. My face was red and on my chest was red. I didn't turn purple or pink or anything like that. I didn't. It was redness.
Because you didn't have any injuries when you walked into the police station on December 16th, Officer Ellis actually sent you a form to fill out to describe the injuries that you said you had on December 2nd, right?
Yes.
And you filled out that form, right?
Yes.
And you didn't do it on December 16th, did you?
No.
He actually emailed it to you, and you took 2 days, and then you emailed it back. True?
Yes.
Okay. And on that form, you put that your chest and throat were very sore for days after, right?
Yes.
And you put that you had redness, tenderness, pain, and bruising on your neck, right?
Like I said, bruising for me is redness. It was sore. It was redness.
Well, you filled
Faded
out.
away, and literally like maybe by the next day, if earlier than that.
Ms. Adams, when did you learn that the defense had provided videos of you to the Commonwealth?
Maybe yesterday or Friday, I think. Sometime last week when I spoke with Drew.
So last Thursday, you met with Mr. Virtue to prepare for your testimony, right?
Yes.
And you met with your lawyer as well, right?
Yes.
Your lawyer is representing you in an effort to get money from Mr. Diggs, true?
My lawyers represented me my workers' comp claim, the injuries that I received on the job that Mr. Diggs refused to pay for. That's what my lawyers represented me for.
Are you sure about that, ma'am?
She is my workers. I got my lawyer from workers' comp.
We'll come back to that. Let's stay with the form. You told Officer Ellis on December 18th, so now 16 days after you say you were assaulted, that you had redness, bruising, and soreness on your chest, right?
I told him that I wrote that.
Well, you wrote it in a form. You took your time and you chose
I
which
checked the
answers
marks.
to give,
Yes.
right? Okay. And you told him your shoulders were red and very sore, right?
Right? This whole area here was sore. Across my chest, up here.
And you told him your whole body was sore, actually, didn't you?
It was.
You told him it was difficult for you to sleep.
I was very upset.
And I think you testified today that Steph supposedly put his forearm around your neck,
Steph did put his forearm around my neck.
not his hand.
No.
Okay. But you told Officer Ellis he used his hand, didn't you?
I told him to use this. This is the crook of his elbow. That is in the grip.
You want a minute approach? That's the form that you filled out over a course of 2 days and sent back to Officer Ellis, true?
Yes.
And if you look right in under the heading method and or manner of strangulation suffocation, right in the maybe top third of that page. See that?
Yes.
Question number 2. How was the victim strangled? Check all that apply. See that?
Forearm, right hand.
You told him you were strangled with his right hand, true?
With forearm, right hand. That is what's checked.
Okay, but you just testified under oath it was only his forearm.
This is the right side. I'm little. Everything went across my neck.
So you were,
that is what I meant by forearm, right hand was his whole right side. Right hand was the smack and forearm was the choke. How was the victim strangled? That was, right hand meant smack, but his whole right arm was across my chest.
you also estimated the level of pressure that the suspect used during strangulation. Do you remember doing that?
Yes. I peed myself and I came back on my cycle really heavily.
So that was a yes or no question
hard.
there? You gave it a yes. You remember doing that, right?
Yes.
And you had a choice. Low is a 1 and 10 is a high. See that?
Yes.
What'd you pick?
10.
10.
Yes.
You said Mr. Diggs is 6 feet tall. He's actually 6'2", right?
I don't know.
You don't know how tall he is? You've known him for 4.5 years.
I don't know. He's taller than me. Way taller than me.
Okay. And you know he lifts weights every day, right? He takes hits from 300-pound men, right? For his job. True?
I guess.
Do you know that?
No, I don't know what his role is. And I thought he run the ball. I don't know if people, I'm not sure what he does.
How many games that Steph Diggs has played in have you attended?
I don't know football. I don't watch it to know what's what. I've attended a couple games.
The question was, how many of Stefon Diggs' games have you gone to and watched?
Gone to, maybe 4.
And you don't know that he gets tackled in that game?
I don't really watch it, honestly. I'm just there for the vibes. I don't really know what be going on in football. I don't know the rules.
I think you will agree with me, that if Stefon Diggs used 10 out of 10 force on your neck,
It was
you
10
would've-
for me. For my little body and what I couldn't breathe, it was a 10 for me.
The question was, estimate the level of pressure that the suspect used during strangulation.
It felt a 10 to me. I could not breathe.
So you chose to answer a different question than the one you were asked.
This questionnaire is about me. Why wouldn't I answer it about me? This is not a questionnaire that's a united, I don't know how to say it, a global, this is about me. This is what happened to me.
Okay. But you will agree with me, hypothetically speaking, if Stefon Diggs used 10 out of 10 strength to choke someone, anyone, that person would have bruises on their neck.
I would not agree.
Sustained. That objection is sustained.
You will agree that if Stefon Diggs used 10 out of 10 force to choke you, you would have bruises on your neck.
Objection. Sustained.
Now, you went to New York, you said, on the evening of December 2nd, true?
True.
And you stayed there until December 9th.
Yes.
You had your phone with you all week.
Yes.
You took messages, you sent text messages.
Yes.
We know that because that's when you started talking about your money, right?
I did what?
You
I
testified.
asked for my money. I didn't talk about my money. I asked for him to have finance sign off to pay me.
My mistake.
Yes. Thank you.
We'll get to that money too. And you didn't think it was important to record your injuries or take photos.
No, I was in shock. This is someone that I love that put his hands on me. That was not my first instinct, was to go and take a photo.
Sure. And then December 3rd, you didn't take any pictures.
No.
And December 4th,
It's a very
you didn't-
complicated relationship. No, I did not take photos.
and you didn't take any videos.
No.
And you didn't go to the ER.
No.
You didn't go to a walk-in.
He already
medical
had paid my medical bills. Why would I go get more medical bills?
center. Objection, Your Honor. Move to strike.
The answer would be stricken, non-responsive, jurors will disregard it, not consider it.
You didn't seek any medical attention, right?
Unpaid medical bills.
Your Honor.
Counsel second.
When you were with Shai and Tali for that week in New York City, you didn't say anything to them about being
I don't know
sore.
Tally. I just met Tally on the night of December the 2nd.
Okay.
Shai Charles has her own. It's a personal
Ma'am?
relationship with
Ma'am?
Stefon.
I need to be able to ask you questions.
Okay, I
and
thought
you
I
need
was
to be able to
answering,
answer.
still answering the first question that you said. You didn't let me finish.
Ms. Adams, we're going to take it again, just a question at a time. It isn't an opportunity for a narrative, and so let her ask her question, all right? And then answer the question, and if there is, if there's a feeling that you're not being allowed to finish, just take the question out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You didn't tell them anything about being assaulted.
These are not people I trust to tell anything of that nature to.
They're just people that you trust to spend a week with. in
These
New
are
York.
people that I met through Stefon Diggs. I had no choice but to stay with them. I had no money.
I thought you just testified you had a ticket to Atlanta,
That Sonny brought.
and then you changed on December 2nd, right?
Yes.
And then you changed your ticket to Atlanta to go to New York with
Yes.
Shai and Sonny. I'm
Yes.
sorry, with Shai and Tali, right?
Yes.
So you did have someplace else to
I
go.
changed the ticket because I didn't have money for Ubers to get home in Atlanta. Shai was going to pick me up from the airport.